Next up, we have a panel discussion coming, and the topic is DeFi losing its status in the crypto world? So our panelists are, we've got our moderator, Uptin, Danny from Flocky Musk, Mohammed Arif from LeoPay, Khalid Albalawi from Selena Token, and Jordan Fung from Shiryo, as well as Niko from Niros Finance. Can we please have a round of applause for our panelists this morning?
All right, everyone, welcome. Good to see so many of you guys in the audience. So we are going to open it to questions from the audience in about 15 minutes, so do think of your questions. But first, my name is Uptin. I am a journalist and content creator based here in Dubai. I make videos for TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook about tech, money, and cultures. Excited to see so many of you here. Excited for our awesome panel we have with us today. Let's get started. We're going to get introductions from each of them. If you can give an introduction about yourself in about 30 seconds, and then we'll dive right in. Let's start with you.
My name is Niko Sparks. I am with Niros Finance. We specialize in AI blockchain solutions.
Hey everyone, this is Khalid Albalawi. I am the fund manager for Selena Token. I have an electrical engineer degree and also technical analysis since about 10 years.
Hey guys, my name is Jordan. I'm the CEO of the Shiryo project. We're an NFT trading card game. We've been running about 4 months, and I've been working in the online and crypto space for the past 10 years.
Awesome. So the total value of DeFi protocols is more than $80 billion. That's more than 10 times that of what it was just in May 2020. So obviously we're seeing a lot of growth, but at the same time, crypto crime is booming. Government regulatory is increasing, and people are starting to question the future of DeFi. So I want to get started with why. Why are people questioning the future of DeFi? Close.
You catch that information from my the close protocol, the close value in DeFi protocols is over $80 billion. That's since May 2020. Imagine the total. That's 2 years from 2 years until now, and 80 billion. That's a huge number for 2 years. So for me, I'm expecting a huge growth in the future. Since also we have the Ethereum, the core blockchain that powering DeFi, have since 2021 over $11.6 trillion in value transaction. That's more than Visa. The second largest payment processing company in the world. So all that in only 2 years. All my information, it's from 2020 until now. So for me, I see the DeFi is the new generation for crypto, for Ethereum, for the Bitcoin, for Sand, for a lot of coins. So the DeFi is the future. This is what I'm saying.
I couldn't agree more. We work in a lot of different countries. We have offices in Colombia, Ghana, Vietnam, the Philippines, and in all these areas we see massive adaptation for DeFi products, and I only think that's going to accelerate in the future. There's no slowing it at this point.
Yeah, I think one of the main things in DeFi is what it's done is lowered the barrier for entry for anyone coming into this space as an investor or as somebody that wants to start a project. And I think there's positive and benefits to lowering the barrier for entry. But what it allows projects to do is better projects can rise to the surface. And I understand a lot of the concerns that people have to do with safety and putting trust in teams. But then the teams that are trustworthy are making their projects safe. It allows them to rise to the surface, and people can look for those projects and trust them. But with it lowering the barrier to entry, it gives the power back to the people and allows anyone with an idea, anybody that wants to build something, it allows them to think of the idea, plan it out, and if they're a one-person team starting out, they can start their idea, start building their community, and if people are interested in it, they can get behind it and start building something up from the ground, which I think is just a positive thing for everybody, because it gives the power back to the people. Anybody that wants to build something can, and I only think that's a positive for everybody.
Yeah, true. Like in our time, right now, what's the biggest projects in the world? Amazon, Apple, what else? Alibaba. All these magnificent projects start with only a single dreamer. Then it's growth. The DeFi give the opportunity to us to find a new dreamers like Steve Jobs, like a lot of biggest investors in this world. So this is the thing that I most love in DeFi. Give opportunity to everyone.
So on that note, we are seeing a lot of shifts when it comes to money, right? So if you look at, crazy inflation in Turkey, in Lebanon, even, 40-year high inflation in the US, you see, I just was in Argentina, which has 50% inflation on average every year, right? So the need, or at least the interest for something like crypto and DeFi is really there, right? It's surging. But at the same time, we're seeing governments looking to regulate more and more and more. So I want to know how you think that's going to play out, particularly also with what we're seeing in Ukraine, and even for people in Russia, right, the value of their currency falling to new record lows. So how do you think sort of geopolitical events and government-backed currencies, fiat currencies, having, in some situations, being in crisis, how do you think that's going to play out this year in terms of the adoption of more crypto?
I think in terms of regulation, it's inevitable. Like, it's going to happen, and we in the crypto space have to ready ourselves for that. And I think in an ideal situation, they're going to have to coexist, right? DeFi is moving, the government's going to step in to get their cut, and we have to deal with that. But if you look at what's happening in Russia now, and with the collapse of the ruble and kind of the things that are going on with the Russians there, we're seeing the impact of crypto when the traditional financial markets when they're closed, and that's a little harder to do with crypto. So in terms of what my company does, we're looking forward to the regulation, because I think that's going to also expedite people's confidence in coming into the crypto space.
Nice. True. Every time when a crisis happens in this world, politically, or a war or anything, the first thing everyone at that area, that they invest in crypto directly, because it's not related to anything. It's there in its own only. So this is the safest thing that they have to do, right? We see it in Ukraine, we see it in Russia, we see it in a lot of countries that take a crypto as their official currency.
Yeah, I think government stepping in and putting regulations on the crypto and DeFi space is inevitable. And I think governments kind of creating their own tokens and backing other tokens is a really good thing in terms of educating the general public about what crypto is. I know a lot of people aren't so clued up on this space are quite wary and scared of the whole space. So I think governments being more involved in promoting it is a positive thing in terms of funneling people into the general space. But I think the good thing about crypto and DeFi is as the coins and tokens are controlled by us, the people running the projects, and the majority of tokens are deflationary or not inflationary. This is like the most important thing for us, the people. The power is back with us, not with the people that are in power who can print as much money as they want without our say-so. So I think once people have done their research, invested in the tokens that they believe in, the kind of circulation of whichever token they're invested in can't be manipulated by people in power to do things that they want to do. I think that's a massive positive for the people, and I think the government and anyone that is in charge is probably very worried about that, which is why they would be looking to step in and regulate things. And I think they can regulate things to a certain extent, and they'll try and regulate things within their own ecosystem. But in terms of the whole space and all the projects that other people are running that is nothing to do with the government, I think they'll have very little power in terms of what they can do, which I think is a massive positive, because the power in kind of the voting is back with the people. Tokens and projects that have DAOs, the actual community holders, they're the people with the power and are able to make decisions for that project moving forward. And I think that's what everybody wants. You want to be the people picking what decisions are made and what's going to happen with that project, rather than people that are in power that are going to make decisions for their own benefit. Everybody wants to be able to make decisions for their benefit and the benefit of people around them.
Great. I want to hear a little bit more, Jordan, about your project. So you're kind of working on a gamification of NFTs, and same with both of you as well. Kind of get a little bit deeper into what you're working on and why it matters and how it could change the game. So Jordan, could you tell us a little bit more about how it works?
Yeah, so our project is a trading card game, and the trading card utilizes NFTs to be the collectible in-game items that will have utility within the game. So the same way you would collect Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you buy packs, open the packs to receive your cards, and then you'll take those cards, which are NFTs, and then use them in the actual game. So we felt that trading cards is kind of the perfect utility for NFTs, because people like to collect NFTs just as a collector's item anyway. So why not pair that with something that is already an established thing that people collect, and then give it utility by building a whole game around the NFTs.
Yeah, for Selena token, actually we have three main projects. First one is Cryptip. It's a social media platform for crypto community. The second one is Crypt Capital. It's an investment fund that will invest in crypto, DeFi or centralized, or technologies. The third project is a game platform with NFTs trading. So all these three projects are interfaced with each other in certain way that support each other. So this is for Selena token.
Yeah, I think that the idea of having a ecosystem is very smart, and we do something very similar. We have 3 different projects like yourself, and just a little background on myself. I have a successful AI company, and we do a lot of business in other countries. So the idea was how to marry the technological advances of AI and big data with crypto. So at any rate, we started 3 different projects, and the idea behind these projects is to educate through AI. So we have, for lack of a better terms, artificial intelligent digital humans that you can interact with, that listen to you, learn from you, and teach you the value of crypto, what crypto is. It's really geared towards, beginners to bring people into those areas that are adapting the fastest. So South America, Africa, pockets of Asia, and North America. So at any rate, that's what our project's about. And we also have an interactive NFT project that we just patented. So we think that's going to be very successful as well.
All right, at this time, we have time for some audience questions. We have a microphone that will come to you. So yeah, if we can get the microphone, if you want to stand up and she can meet you. So if you could introduce yourself and then pose your question.
Hi everyone, I work in London in crypto. I'm a research analyst for a crypto data firm. And I wanted to ask about one of the things that's happened in DeFi lately with Luna. They had a recent problem with their UST peg, their decentralized stablecoin. And actually the founder of Luna, Do Kwon.
Sorry. It's a bit hard to hear because just put your microphone closer to your chin.
Okay, sorry, can you hear me now? Nice. I wanted to ask about Luna. They just had a problem with their stablecoin UST, where it depegged from the US dollar. And the founder of Luna actually just made a $22 million bet with someone on Twitter that the price of Luna is going to be higher 1 year from today than it is now. I wanted to ask what you think about the tokenomics behind Luna and whether you think the tokenomics in DeFi right now is sustainable.
Do you know the specific tokenomics of the Luna project? I'm not clued up on the specifics.
Oh, can we go back?
Yeah, most of the yield comes from the yield reserve that's pumped by basically the Luna Foundation. So they had to pump $300 million recently because of the DPEG, because they were running out of money to give to savers on the Anchor protocol. So most of it is just their own money, and they're pumping it in with the idea to scale up so that eventually they'll be, they'll be sustainable. That's the idea. They've had to pump $300 million to sustain the peg. To me, it doesn't seem sustainable.
Yeah, I don't fully know the project and what they're doing, but I understand what you're saying in terms of anything that has a yield or is paying out are usually kind of not sustainable, or they will be sustainable for a good point while the kind of the initial hype is there, and they often run out very fast. And for me personally, I usually try and stay away from things that have a high yield or something that's going to be kind of a farm or a staking that looks too attractive. I think you can have massive gains very quickly with them, but as soon as people start to pull out, the whole thing can implode just as quick as it blew up. I think they are very exciting, and there's definitely good things people can do. I think there's a lot of room to grow in that space. Maybe someone hasn't found the best way to do it. But I think a lot of those things, whenever I see them, I'm usually very wary, or if I'm involved in them, I try and get in and get out as quick as possible, which I think everybody is doing, which is probably part of the problem, but you don't want to be the last person kind of holding the bag in those kind of situations. So I think those kind of things, or anything that is giving rewards, I think the rewards need to be sustainable, and they need to have a source where those rewards are coming from. There's going to be something that can keep happening. If it can run out as quickly as it started, I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get burnt in those, and a lot of people that maybe haven't researched it as much as they need to. They've seen an attractive offer and thought, this is the one, it's going to make a lot, but maybe people that know a little bit more than them are able to get in and out faster. So I think there's a lot of self-education in those areas that needs to be done, and I think it is an interesting area, and it can grow a lot, but I think projects need to innovate and find new ways of doing that, things that are exciting to for people, and find a source for the rewards or for the yield that is sustainable.
Thank you.
All right, we have a few more questions in the back, maybe.
Hi, I'm a user of DeFi, and I wanted to get your opinion. As if you know, a year ago, about approximately more than 90% of applications were built on Ethereum, but that number has come down to close to 50% now. And my question is, what do you think, does that trend keep continuing, that more and more new blockchains will be used, like Avalanche, Solana, Harmony, or Polygon? Or you think more that Ethereum will get the high fees in control and will get his market share back? Thank you.
All right, here's the thing, yeah, Ethereum is the king right now, but like anything else, better technologies are going to replace it. And if you look at AVAX and what some of these other blockchains are doing, I think that Ethereum will remain the market leader, but it will give up some of its market share, no question.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think Ethereum will remain the kind of main market leader in the DeFi space. But at the moment, because of the gas fees, the barrier to entry is quite high, which is why a lot of people are in other spaces on the Binance chain, AVAX, Solana. It's just a lot easier for them to interact with it. And as these other networks kind of grow and their communities develop, they kind of have different use cases or different communities form around that. So I think definitely some people will shift from Ethereum to different networks for certain reasons, but Ethereum will definitely keep a very strong use case, and I reckon a lot of people that are doing things on other chains are also doing things on Ethereum. But I think it's good that there is other chains that are trying to build other communities and do other things. So whatever, as an investor, whatever area of DeFi it is that you're interested in, you can find the networking community for you and find people that are interested in doing the same thing as you.
Yeah, true. I think every one of these tokens are taking lead in a specific field, you know. But in overall, I think Ethereum will take control in the future. Ethereum will be the biggest token in the market and will lead the market up or down, and hopefully up.
All right, I think we had another one in that section. More questions? Go on.
Hi, good morning. I have a question, like when we compare the crypto with the traditional currencies, like we have 206 currencies, and when we talk about the crypto coins, it's more than 16,000. So how do we protect our risk? How do we find the legitness? And as far as inflation, you said it's inflation free. We talk about Ukraine, we talk about Russia, we talk about some of the South American countries. But it equally has the risk because of its price volatility. So how do you justify that it is a inflation free, and how do we call it a stable thing? When the prices go right from $55,000 to $40,000.
Can you clarify your exact question?
My question is, how do we find the legitness? Means where should we invest when we talk about crypto? Second thing, how do we talk about crypto being inflation free? When the price goes up and down, means we face some kind of risk when we are facing inflation. At the same time, we are facing the risk because of the volatility in the prices of cryptos?
So for the first part of your question, how do you choose which projects you want to get behind?
Yes, right.
So in my normal life, I have a lot of friends and family that ask this kind of question, like, what should I invest in, what should I do? They kind of look to me as a source of knowledge. I'm sure a lot of people have that as well. And what I always tell them is, maybe go and look at the top 10 or top 20 coins, and look at what that project actually is. Go to their website, read that white paper, and see which project aligns with your kind of views and values. So the things that you believe in and the things that you want to grow and kind of push forward into the future. I think these are the projects that you should kind of do more research in and personally invest in. I see investing in kind of the blue chip bigger coins as you're kind of voting with your money. So you want to back the people that you believe in their kind of ethos and message. Obviously people day trade a lot of things, or swing trade things to make profits, but for me, I always look into which projects I believe in and which projects I like what they're doing, and then I'll back them with my investment. So I would always recommend to anyone that is asking me, go and read what that project is actually about. Instead of just reading the name and hearing that a lot of people have been speaking about it, go and research thoroughly what the project is and what they're trying to do in the space, and then if you believe in what they're doing, then get behind that project.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think the big thing with so many choices in crypto is that when regulation does come, there's going to be a massive shakeout, and that selection is going to be reduced. And when you're looking at crypto projects, right now it's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of Win Moon, Win Lambo, so on and so on. And I think that you're absolutely right. It has to align with your core beliefs. Why are you in crypto? Why are you investing in it? Are you investing as a hedge against inflation? Are you investing because you think that there's going to be some kind of traditional monetary collapse? Why are you in crypto? And I think once you evaluate that, that's going to eliminate a lot of your choices.
Yeah, true. I think your gentlemen are said enough in this question.
All right, so I think we have time for one or maybe two more questions. Maybe we can get her in the front. Yeah, let's get some.
Hi, my name's Nirali and I'm from Cryptam. So Jordan, you said that it's anti-inflationary, just cryptocurrencies in general. And thinking about Russia and Ukraine and what's going on at the moment, do you think that if governments were to criminalize cryptocurrencies, that structurally DeFi as a whole will still ensure that people have control over currencies and finance?
Yeah, I'd hope so. I would hope that the whole nature of it being decentralized would mean that people couldn't take the power away from you. So if they try and bring in legislation or make it kind of illegal to be involved in the space, I would hope that it being DeFi doesn't give them that power. I know in some places there's a lot of governments that will try and stop that, but I think as we grow we'll work out a lot more ways to allow anybody from wherever they are in the world to be involved in the space. And I think globally that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants everything to be fair for everybody, or the general public would want everything to be fair for everybody, but potentially the governments do not want that. They would want to do things that would be in the interest for them. So I would hope moving forwards in DeFi that the power would remain with the people, and anybody that did want to be in the space would be able to do it.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Here's the bottom line. When you're talking about crypto and the traditional financial markets as they exist today, there's not a lot of trust in traditional financial institutions, right? So even with China, their so-called banning of crypto, the nations I work in, I know for a fact a lot of the Chinese crypto holders moved their crypto to other countries. So in effect, though China neutralized it to an extent in their country, those funds ended up in other parts of the world and benefit other economies. So I think governments are going to have to adapt, and that DeFi and crypto, it's not going anywhere. Cat's out the bag, and it's no getting it back in.
Yeah, when you take the Visa, the most famous traditional payment or traditional payment process in the world, and take Ethereum as we said at the first beginning, Ethereum overcome Visa with the stages. So it's undiscussable that crypto, DeFi will pass every traditional trading.
Yeah, I agree with what both these guys have said, and I think as legislation and any kind of restrictions do come in, there's a lot of very smart people working in the crypto and DeFi space, and the government's almost playing the game of cat and mouse. They work a lot slower and might introduce one thing that stops a certain aspect of something working, but we have a lot of smart people in this space, and I'm sure everyone's seen people work on things fast and develop solutions for things overnight. So when something happens, the space can adapt very quickly, and new ways of doing things and new trends will form. So if things do change and as legislations come in, because it's kind of, the whole thing is community powered, if people want things to work differently, people will build things to enable that. So I think it will be, or for the foreseeable future, it will be a game of cat and mouse where we're constantly just a little bit up ahead and then the governments are trying to catch up, which I think is good because the people in the space and the people running the space and the people that have the power, and the governments move not proactively, they move after we've done something. It's not like we're trying to keep up with them, they're trying to keep up with us.
Yeah, and to add to that, 80+% of the world's population do not have bank accounts, do not have access to traditional finance, but everyone has a cell phone which can access crypto. And as the crypto is adapted, in more nations and technology moves, I think it's going to be hard for traditional finance to keep up with that adaptation, in the crypto space.
Yeah, so I actually went to El Salvador for a week. I did a documentary about the adoption of Bitcoin, and it's an interesting discussion because a lot of times people think, oh, everyone in El Salvador is using Bitcoin and they don't have to be backed by a government-backed currency and it's completely unregulated. But it was actually, and that's what I thought it was going to happen going in, but it was actually, in a way, it was the opposite, because most of El Salvador, I think 80% of its population does not have a bank account. There are millions of El Salvadorians living abroad in the US, sending money every month to their relatives on Western Union. And so the government actually created an app called Chivo, which is for Salvadorians only, right? You and I cannot download this app. You have to be Salvadorian to download the app, and what do? You put in all your information, and it's a way to immediately bank you, right? Because now you can transfer dollars into Bitcoin, but they can also track you,
Absolutely.
Right? So, and most Salvadorians don't know they can use another wallet. They're all using this Chivo app, which the government even gives you $30 free worth of Bitcoin if you download the Chivo app. And this is a country where, minimum monthly income is I think $300, $400, right? So $30 is a sizable amount. So it's really interesting discussion, because a lot of times we think it's cat and mouse, but in a country like El Salvador, which is the first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, it's actually a fusion of the two. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And with that, we are out of time. So I want to thank everyone for your contributions, and we will see you around the conference.